Yeah, for my last stream. Freaking smacks her. And, you know, Rimaru is like, that's my best friend! But, you know, I'm only here, of course. Haven't read the novel, right? Haven't read the source. Whatever. The light novel. I don't understand the rules here. Hopefully they explain in the next episode, right? When they actually have the progress night. Because what I'm thinking, right, from like, it's like being, you know, it's like, okay, but obviously Leon's like, I'm gonna kill you probably, right? But still, they're like, wouldn't, if I was a demon lord, right? If I was one of the other demon lords, I would have been like, oh, this guy is clearly taking over this demon lord, right? He has mind controlling her. He can do it to me. So I would have killed him, you know what I mean? I think this is like a massive provocation to kill him. Not just because you actually care about Milim. Obviously, her best friend, Rimaru, is like the bestest for life. BFFs is gonna come and save her, right, eventually, of course. But if I was like, you know, maybe not a guy then, because a guy had number one, right, like he's too powerful. But if I was Frey, obviously wants to betray him, right, like she obviously wants to kill him, right. And if I, you know, but the other characters, the vampire lady and so on, right, like, you know what I mean, like, if he's like, they should be all be like, shit, that guy can mind control demon lords, I want to kill him, right. If he's like a huge target now to get killed. And they all probably know that Milim is like crazy, you know, like, yeah, so they have to all figure out he's controlling Milim, right? With that, again, it's kind of obvious for all of them. So I don't really understand, he's clearly lost it, I feel, the plot here by, you know, showing off what he's doing to her in front of everyone. It feels like he's very hard for him to, you know, survive this place alone, right? Because I mean, almost everyone will want to kill him, right? The only character I get, like you see, not caring would be someone like Guy. That is so powerful, he's like, he can't control me, so I don't care, right? But you know, the only character probably be like, we have to kill him. And he has the pet, though. I love that thing, though, because I kept saying that seemed to me that the coolest finger he has. Obviously, he has the 5 fingers, right? And one finger is some kind of like fox or something with more than one tail. So yeah, it has like 3 tails, so some kind of kitsune, some kind of cube thingy going on. Some kind of cute animal. There's a finger. So he brought that, of course, to the meeting. That I respect claiming, though. He brings the cutest finger, though. The little fox thing, the little Miles Power thing with him. That is like, like clearly the best. Clearly the best pet, man, to bring with him, the best attendant. And you know, then yeah, Rimaru gets pissed off. Love to see that. Walpurigs and has to lead into a fight, right? There's no way that this would lead into a fight. Leon's like, I'm gonna kill you, boy. I'm gonna kill this guy. I feel like Frey's like, I'm gonna betray him. This isn't Carrion. Rimaru and Raphael is like, well, it's too obvious, right? But that has to be Carrion, right? I was thinking that immediately too. Like, okay, it's a beast man. She has harpies. I mean, the rest of her crew is like, you know, hot babes, right? The typical harpy with big up eyes and, you know, the classic harpy, right? Yeah, the classic, you know, sexy harpy girl. And then she has like a lion harpy guy. It sounds super much like the beast man. So I guess why wouldn't it be him, right? It feels like, yeah, he's missing. Obviously, the demon lord is missing. We know that. Of course, Frey was there, right? Frey and Milim, you know, fought him and so on, right, with the claimant strategy. And then suddenly she pops up with a lion harpy guy. And I've never heard about harpy men with lion heads before either. Like, it doesn't feel like a thing either. So it seems like it has to be Carrion. I cannot see it. Well, you know, Rimaru is like, it has to be Carrion, right? So I guess there's not a demon lord here, as maybe he's also mind controlled, right? As with Milim. Right, like he's focused on her up eyes. Yeah, he's like, yeah. He's like, that's the best demon lord. So you know what Rimaru likes. She of course picked up the net earlier though. Ramar is being all happy she finds friends. That was cute. She's like, look at me, I have my attendees. Yes, Rimaru gave them to me, but that's right, Dino. I'm not a loner and badass. But I love that, you know, that I haven't seen is that the Ramar is clearly, you know, the oldest or one of the oldest demon lords. I love that because, you know, Rimaru is like, that guy looks super powerful. That's what they did. Yeah, this guy is super powerful. And Ramar is like, hey bro, and you miss me, you know, woo! You know, like she's all over there. Hey, let's play, you know. So I think that's kind of, that is fun, right? Yeah, she's this like super old demon lord. This guy is, I guess, the strongest character in the universe, kind of thing, right? And she's all like, hey, yeah, I wanna poke you. So that is great, man. Yeah, it is great. She's all like, you know, she doesn't care. She can't see that. For her, she's an old friend, right? Yeah, for her, it's like an old, powerful friend. It's that is cute, man. And then we have this weird thing with the vampire Lord is actually not the Demon Lord, but his attractive maid girl behind him is the attendant, is actually the Demon Lord. Which Veldora was like, I don't know, I thought a hot female woman. She was like some kind of, lady vampire chick. She was very powerful. And and then Rimuru was like, wait, isn't she much stronger than the guy in front of her? So that's something fishy. They're both vampires. He's a vampire, he's the Fang, right? The Demon Lord. And she has to be the, what's Veldora talking about, right? So that's kind of weird. It has the same name as the god that Adalman worshipped, or something. I'm not sure on that, but yeah, because they didn't know her full name, but her name sounded kind of the same, like Luminous or something like that, right? Like light in Latin, something like that, like Lux Luminous, something like light, or something like that. So maybe he was like a vampire god or something. Kinda. Sounded like the same name there. But anyway, what is she doing then? If he's kind of like some kind of weird, I'm sending in one of my older vampire guys to pretend to be the leader, but I'm the actual leader. I'm just dressing up like a maid to pretend to not be the Demon Lord. But it feels really unnecessary, because I mean, it depends on what power the other Demon Lord has, but Rimuru immediately is like, wait, that's clearly the real Demon Lord, right? And it feels like the guy and the other character also probably would know, she's the real Demon Lord, right? The other guy is just the fake standing right in front of her. It seems to, I don't know, it probably works good against her, maybe, people out in the world, right? Normal people, they can't tell the difference. But yeah, someone mentioned a giant. I was like, he's gonna be the guy with no clothes and no opening. I don't know why, but honestly, but it's like in every anime I feel. My first sample is 76 now, but every anime I feel it's giants or dressed like this. It feels like a giant thing. I don't know why anime, but like, they're gonna have a giant character, or they're gonna have, basically shirtless with little muscles. Yeah, it's just like the giant thing. They have like some kind of loincloth, and then they have the muscle thing. This feels like the most anime. This guy looks, I must say it looks bad, but it looks, this is exactly what I expect like a giant to look in anime. Like this, he has the giant anime clothing on him. That's not my point. I don't know, but I immediately, when Veldora was like, I thought this guy's a giant. The giant guy has to be the guy with no shirt, right? It's like, I don't know why, but that's like a very, I guess, like very, like, I said, that trope that you see in so many other anime. This is how giants are dressed, right? But he looked exactly like a giant for 76. He looked exactly like, the Giants people, right? The men and so on there. What's the other character I missed? I don't know. Dino was actually alone, yeah. Ram was like, where's your friend, Dino? But maybe he has them with him. Like he has a sword with him. Maybe the sword can turn into a weapon or something. I don't know. A person, I mean. Maybe the weapon is actually a person. But that's true, though. Dino didn't bring anyone with him. He's like the only guy I see. I think he's the only one that's alone. No, actually, the giant is alone too, right? Yeah. Dragnel, or his name is, he's also alone. And Leon is maybe alone, think about it. I don't know, Leon has always like, I have the spirit power or so on. Might bring someone with him. I guess Milim, that I think about it, didn't bring any one of her fault with her, which makes sense, right? But that's true. Now thinking about it. Milim, of course, this comes with Clayman. She's not bringing with her any of her, like, Midray or any of her, faithful monks people. He didn't get her attendance. They will figure out that she's being mind controlled. But if she has to follow her, he could have brought people with him. But I guess she's still alone, right? Unless she can... Poor Shuna! Poor beautiful Shuna! This is clearly mostly a Shuna episode, but it's just like you get to those last 5 minutes, and suddenly you have like 5-6 new characters, right? And that is so much more interesting than the Shuna fight, honestly. I mean, this was a great fight, and there's a good Shuna moment. Shuna hasn't had much screen time or fights generally, so this is a good episode of Shuna. But it's like, she beat the necromancer, who cares? And then it's like, here's all this new, here's the demon lady, here's this waifu, here's big oppies, right? It's so much other stuff happening after that. So, but anyway, talking about Shuna. So Shuna easily beats him, right? Kind of has the retainer OP thing going on. Her brother also very OP and so on, right? So they keep showing off their baddest powers. They're all OP now, right? Rimuru is a god, everyone's a god, right? Yeah. It was nice animated and so on, and she kind of did this. I guess the first battle was like, this is like a duel thing now. So it immediately like pushes out everyone else from our circle. It's like no one else can enter it until our duel is over. I guess that's how it works, right? Alignment spell. So yeah, that makes sense. To see it in other animes and games and so on, it has to be us in the circle now. I find it like a duel, certainly. But otherwise, even though it looked cool, she did this reverse circle thing here. As I said in the reaction, I have to say though, right, that I feel a little bit like, oh, Shuna is just reversing his magic. I have no understanding how it works. The anime is just like, she can do this now. Yeah, it doesn't explain how she's doing it. He's sending out like a holy spell, and she's like, whatever, trap card reverse, Uno reverse in your face, right? And she's like, okay, I guess you won. So that I have to say was it's like the first magic battle they had in a long time of it in this anime, and they didn't explain anything. She was like, reflect. She was basically like, I think I'm out to reflect you, whatever. I mean, it was really, yeah, it was like, I have an OP reflect card, you lost. I don't know. It was like, I don't understand the rules. So in that set of fight, I felt was kind of strange too. He's just like, oh my god, she could reverse reflect my magic. He was like, he wasn't displaying it either. He was in shock too, right? Poor adalman was like, oh my god, she has reflect on her. Oh shit, I'm dead. He's like, oh no, he's coming back in my face. Yeah, I don't know. It looked really good, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't make much sense, I feel, from or Matt's chat, but I mean, I don't know. So yeah, leave a comment below. Ask people to probably leave a comment now explaining how this spell actually works. As an anime only, I have zero honestly understanding of how these spells actually, you know, how they work. Why could she just reflect his holy magic? Otherwise, though, the ending was great. Though, of course, that now adalman is like, I wanna meet this Rimmaru-sama. I need a new god. I need to worship a new person, right? And Shion is like, Shuna means like, she thinks about the boing boing. I see it falls asleep here. Shuna is like, boing boing. Well, I guess you probably, yeah, sure, you can worship him. It's like, she's like, yeah, he's the god of sorts, I guess. Boing boing boing. It's like, yeah, he's, yeah, sure, worship him. But yeah, she's expanding the Rimmaru fan club, right? I guess it's like, yeah, going with it. Anyway, now I am unsure here. They kind of said it briefly, something. So I'm just gonna say it again here. Right? Think about it again. Yeah. So, well, Laura didn't know the name of the vampire true demon lord, right? The female demon lord, the actual demon lord, and then the older man worshipped Luminous. To me, it sounds very similar. He's like called Lurus, Milum. It's kind of similar because it's also like in Japanese English, it's like Lulus. Luminous, you know, Lumilus. Yeah, if you combine Lurus and Mil, you know, Lure and Mil, right? They kind of it's like Luminous. So I guess he worshipped the true demon lord, the vampire, right? I'm probably gonna spoil the comments now, but yeah. So last I say it again, right? He's calling her Lumilus, right? And obviously he was worshipping a goddess called, or a god, but I guess a goddess then called Luminous, who's kind of a light in Latin kind of thing going on, right? And then we see his memory of this, you know, true demon lord vampire lady, right? Whatever she is, but them true, you know, follow with Valentine, right? And yeah, like she's into kind of church, right? Clearly, like this is some kind of typical church windows right behind her. So I guess she is the goddess that adalman worshipped, right? He was betrayed by. Like she is her religion, I guess. But it makes sense, right? Why wouldn't a true demon lord be like a religious figure for him, right? Like an old demon lord would definitely could be a, you know, a god, right? Like he's worshipping Rimmaru. So I think that's like that has to come back later. Why is that the clergy, the priesthood are like following this vampire lady, whatever she's, yeah, the oldest vampire lady, and also why is she pretending to be not the demon lord, but actually be like, yeah. I don't have an ask for it, but I'm just talking about what I'm picking up here, right? She's pretending to not be the demon lord, and she's also very likely the goddess that is the religious people are following. Is that the same goddess that the other people are? But it also comes back to, when I think about it, because they of course mentioned earlier when Laplace saw talking about how the vampires, right, were protecting the church thing, right? It's like, why would a church be led by a vampire guy? He's like the actual vampire leader. But then his maid is the actual goddess, right? So they actually kind of come back to it, yeah. So I guess that the Westman church people, all the people like, are following her, right? Like she's the actual leader of this religious Templar Knights or whatever. Something like that, yeah. It's like an interesting, I think here at least. There's like a huge, there's something setting up with that whole thing that they're following a demon lord because being a demon lord, it doesn't mean you're evil, right? She's kind of like the goddess. And that explains why Laplace is like, oh, it's a vampire protecting the goddess, yeah, or like the holy church, kind of like the Christianity people, whatever, yeah, the Templar Knights. So, but doesn't explain why she would be hiding as his maid though. But it's probably because it's like he's worshipping her, right? She's like the goddess and somehow protecting her by, like hiding her under his mantle of the demon lord or something. So something like that, right? But yeah, I think the interesting point there. I come up with here, but it has to be. I mean, they're calling her Luminous, and he's like Luminous or something. So there has to be some connection with that. But anyway, that's my long review here now of Slime. But of course, there's a lot of cats, right? A lot to think about. That theory I threw out here is probably correct. I am on the right. I can probably easily go and look at read about it on some Wikipedia or something. But it's probably I feel pretty confident in that. Yeah, like her goddess status there, right? The name is the same thing. It's a church thing behind the right. So yeah, interesting to see all these characters. And Carrion is probably the Harpy Lion guy. Like what else, right? Anyway, guys, take a short break, and then I'll see you in 5 minutes on Twitch with Old Taxi. Where Old Taxi now, I'm in like episode, what is it? 10, 11, 12. I'm watching 3 episodes per week there, so that's gonna be exciting. We kind of get into, I think it's the final 3rd episode, but get to the end there, and that anime is very special, right? It has a lot of weird characters, and it's very well written. And I'm interested to see now that they're gonna have some kind of reveal about the main character. I guess it's like they kind of threw a curveball last episode about the main character's parents, so I think it's interesting to see what that means. So yeah, so you guys see me on Twitch with Old Taxi 10, 11, 12, and then next week we do the final episode. Then. So anyway, so you guys have games going. Of course, tomorrow we also have a lot of Dragon Mates. Yeah, tomorrow is White Wednesday.